Hey everybody, it's Longo. In this video, we are going to cover solving quadratic inequalities. So you're going to need to be able to solve a quadratic by factoring if it is a non-calculator style of question, with a graphing calculator if it's allowed. And I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. So what we are going to do, number one, is first factor it. Since it's the difference of two squares, we can just say that this is x plus 3 and x minus 3. And that's going to give us x is equal to a negative 3 and a positive 3. Now what we are going to do with that is we are going to plot them on a graph and we are going to test a few things. I will show you exactly what I mean now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take a number line, have a negative 3 and a positive 3. The first method I'm going to show you is using test points. So what you want to do, since this is less than 0, you need open circles on negative 3 and positive 3. And what you need to do is you need to create a test point that is less than the smallest one. So on the outside of it, I'm going to pick negative 5. You need a point in the middle. I'm going to pick 0. And then you need a point on the far right. I'm going to just pick positive 5 since when we square it, we're going to get the same number, just to make things easy. So what you do now is you substitute negative 5, 0, and 5 into the original equation and see what happens. So let's do that. If you substitute in a negative 5, you get a negative 5 squared minus 9, and that is going to give us 16. Is 16 less than 0? The answer is no, it's not. So that would be a false statement. And then you're going to do the same thing with 0. So 0 squared minus 9 is going to give you a negative 9. Is negative 9 less than 0? Yes, it is. This is true. And as I already mentioned, 5 squared is still 25 minus 9 is 16. That's still going to be false. So you can see that the answer to this solution or inequality is going to be in between negative 3 and 3. So your inequality, or we're going to use interval notation, our solution is negative 3 to 3, and that's it. Because it's only true in between those two. Now there's another way to do this without using test points, and what you want to do is sketch what the graph would look like. This is a positive quadratic, so it would open up. So the quadratic would look like this. Now this says less than 0, and all you need to do is think about where is this equation less than 0. That means it's underneath your line that you drew, and you can see that that is true in between your negative 3 and 3. So there's two different ways for you to do these. Number two, I would like you to pause the video and try it using any method. You obviously need to be familiar with both. But for the sake of this, go ahead, pick a method and try it and see if you can come up with a solution. Give it a shot. So the first thing you should have done is factor this, and you're going to end up with x plus 4 and an x minus 2. So x is equal to a negative 4 and a positive 2. So you should have created a number line. And you should have a negative 4 and a positive 2. Since this is greater than or equal to, you should have solid dots on your test areas, negative 4 and 2. If you use the test point method, so I'm just going to randomly pick a couple right now. We'll say negative 6. We'll go with 0 again. Anytime it's between a negative and a positive, I go with 0 just to make things simple. And we'll go with a 4. If you pick those test points and substitute it into your original equation, you should have come up with 16, which is greater than or equal to 0. You should come up with a negative 8 is greater than or equal to 0. and 16 is greater than or equal to 0 again. Now, this would be a true statement, this would be false, and this would be true. So the solution that you should have come up with would have been negative infinity to negative 4. And then, of course, you're going to have your square bracket because the negative 4 is included. And then it's false in between. And then it's true from 2 to infinity. Okay? So, and if you would have said x is less than or equal to a negative 4 and, or x is greater than or equal to 2, that would have been fine. This is just interval notation. If you did it the graphing method, again, this is a positive quadratic, so it opens up. And that means you would shade above the x-axis or your number line. So if you shaded above it and in between, you would be shading here anyway. Okay, because it's got to be in between your graph. All right, so that is what we're doing. And you don't even have to shade, to be honest with you. You just look at where it's going. Above the line, it's going out. Below the line, it's staying in between. Either way works for me. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.